it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping into my channel and joining me for a class today. I've got a wonderful little 10-minute morning stretch for us. However, if it's not the morning for you and you're doing this at any other point of the day, that's okay too. This class in particular will be really nice for anyone that has low back pain. Our lumbar spine can be one of those tricky places for us, and I have a fabulous way to help relieve some of that tension, some of that pain that we often experience. And it is using our handy dandy wall. So do drag your mat over to the wall. We'll be using it for the entire class. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so as mentioned, this entire class, this entire little morning stretch is going to be at the wall. It is fabulous for anyone that has sad low backs like myself. We will lie ourselves back and bring our feet up against the wall. And right now, I don't want your sitting bones too close to the wall whatsoever. Instead, just let your legs kind of rest up against the wall and take your hands to wherever feels best. That could be outside to side in a T, or maybe over your head, letting your elbows droop open side to side, or even one on your heart, one on your stomach. And now from here, lightly bend the knees and press your feet into that wall. If you feel comfortable, if you want to, close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to pay attention to the place where your small back meets the mat. Is it pulling away from the mat? I hope not. I want you to press it deep into the mat. If you're a Pilates friend of mine, we are imprinting the spine here. So pay attention to that spot there. Take a great big inhale. Big deep breath out. And in your own mind, I want you to follow each and every vertebrae all the way up your back to the spot between your shoulder blades. Is there any tension there? Do you feel like you could open and expand those shoulders a little more side to side? Maybe that means you want to adjust where your hands are. Maybe that feel good exactly where they are. That is perfectly fine. And still, eyes can be open or closed, whatever works best for you. But really take a moment and feel your entire spine touching the ground behind you, and open up those shoulders side to side a little bit more. Without moving the body whatsoever, I want you to lightly press into the wall with both of your feet and feel yourself imprint into the mat even more. Feel the support the ground can give your spine. Take a great big inhale, big deep breath out. Keeping that feeling, that length we've created in our body. Go ahead and do take your hands over your head if they aren't already. Press deeper into your right foot and reach your right arm further away. Maybe even turn your nose to the left. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let that go. Now press deeper into the left foot, grow longer through the left arm, and allow that nose to fall to the opposite side. Big inhale. Exhale back to center. If it feels nice to reach a little bit more through one side or the other, go right ahead. But eventually do find your center. Notice, did your low back pull away from the mat? I hope not. Take a big inhale. Cactus your arms out to the side. Just pull them down and notice, do you feel like you need to lift your arms up to give yourself support, or can they just lie flat on the ground? Inhale, reach them up overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, stretch them up overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms. Once or twice more, just like that, moving in your own body, however feels good, however feels best. And eventually do take those hands overhead and just stay. Take a nice big deep inhale. Great big sigh out. And then bring your hands all the way down by your sides, palms into the earth. Press deep into the wall with both feet. And as you inhale, I want you to allow your hips to rise up from the floor. Now they can go up the exact same height as mine, or a little bit more shallow. They don't have to rise up too terribly high right now. Keep that nose pointing straight up to the sky. I know you want to look at me, I know you want to look at the screen, but right now while we lift those hips and find that length, I want you to imagine that you are Pinocchio and your nose is growing as long as it can be, and you are trying to touch the ceiling with that nose. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll yourself right back down to the ground. How slowly can you go? As soon as your tail touches the earth, immediately rise back up. Press into your feet. Lift the hips up. And then exhale, gently roll down. Go ahead and move through your own body however fast you'd like to, as many times as you'd like as well. But do notice what's going on in your shoulders. It's easy to let them kind of curl in, but we want to keep them pressing down into the mat behind us. Let's go ahead and do one more together. And if you want to go longer, of course you do you. Listen to your body, but eventually lower yourself down and stay. Extend both feet long and flex the feet. Almost imagine trying to draw your toes up towards your face. Take a big inhale, big breath out, and then I want you to cross your right leg over, opening up that right knee. Now, if your knee is way up here and not completely open out to the side, that's okay. Every body is a little bit different. You're welcome to stay here, or maybe bend your left leg again, just like we did with both feet on the mat, both feet on the wall. Press deeply into the wall with that foot so you can feel the support the mat can give your spine. It's almost like you're sitting in a chair right now. Take a great big inhale, big deep breath out. And then slowly extend that leg nice and long, unravel the right, and let's do the exact same thing to the left side. Now both sides can be so different, so know if you feel a little bit wonky, if this side just has a whole lot more or a whole lot less range of motion, that's okay. You're never going to be perfectly even from one side to the other, and in fact on this side, I'm even going to sway my hips a little. I'm just going to move around. So that's what would feel good for me right now. But just as I did on my first side, I am pressing deeply into the wall with my foot. I'm feeling every single vertebrae touch the mat, and I'm keeping my nose pointing straight up to the sky. Take a breath. And then go ahead and let that unravel. Bend both knees in, actually pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze, take a little rock and roll side to side, and we're gonna come up to a seat and come even closer to the wall. Now I found the easiest way for me to do this is to actually sit all the way up against the wall and then lower myself back and bring my feet up. Now, your tailbone doesn't actually have to touch the wall. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But from here, again, take your hands over your head and actively flex your feet. If your knees are bent here, that's absolutely fine. You do not have to look like me. If it doesn't feel good to keep your hands over your head, that's great. Do whatever feels best for you. But from here, I am still imprinting my spine. I am flexing my feet. Take a big inhale, big breath out. Think of bringing those toes up towards your nose, actively flexing, finding that length through the back of the legs. And then just as we did when we were further away, press those feet into the wall. Did your low back already start to curl up? I hope not. We want to keep it down. Hands can either come down by your sides or off in a T, whatever works better. But again, let's roll ourselves up and find that nice little, funny little bridge pose. Now, I could go up even higher if I wanted to, but I'm not really in the mood for that because I notice the higher I go, the more my shoulders want to climb up. I want to keep them down. I want to keep my back nice and broad behind me. Take a big inhale. Exhale, roll yourself down. Inhale, lift the pelvis up. Find that funky little wall bridge. And roll yourself down. A couple more times, just like that, not worrying about how big this is, how high we're going, but simply moving in your body with what feels good to you. And then from here, this time, walk your toes together and allow your knees to open out to the side. Now, some of us might need to have our feet pretty high, pretty far away from our pelvis, but some of us could slide them open a little bit more. Now this might feel really nice. You might want to keep yourself exactly right here. You can also give yourself a little extra stretch. However, please do not just Push on your knees. Those are such precious joints. We want to be very delicate, very careful to them. Instead, take your hands to the middle of your thigh, and rather than just shoving my legs away from me, I actually think about rotating my inner thighs away from the middle of my body. So I kind of hang on to them here. I give my thighs a gentle squeeze, and then I think about rotating the thighs away from one another. So it's more of a double sort of movement. I'm not just pressing away, but I'm pressing and rotating. And for me, that feels really nice, and you might even want to kind of sway side to side. Now, if you feel like your spine is arching, like if your low back is popping off the mat, then just pause. Give yourself time to reset. Maybe bring the knees in a little bit closer if it's just too much to open them out. Take a big, deep inhale. Great big breath out. Slowly, lovingly bring your knees back to center. Let's send our legs straight up to the sky once more. And just hang out here as long as you'd like to. This is one of my favorite places just to relax, both in the morning and in the evening. It feels so good on our lumbar spine, that low part of our back. Give yourself a few big, deep breaths here. And honestly, if you want to stay here for another 3 minutes, you are more than welcome to do so, but I'm going to roll over to one side, push myself up to a seat, and give myself a little pat on the back, and I hope you do the same. I hope the rest of your morning and the rest of your day, you feel a little bit lighter and a little bit more joyful. Go ahead and give me a like, a subscribe. I hope you leave me a comment to tell me what you think, and have a fabulous day.